Toastmasters speech contests have three purposes: provide competitive speaking experience for Toastmaster members, provide interesting educational programs for members and the public, and provide the audience an opportunity to learn by observing talented speakers. It's important that all speech contests are conducted properly, and good judging is vital to this. Good judging imparts a feeling of fairness to contestants and the audience, and that the right choice was made. Having trained judges is essential to providing a fair contest to all contestants. I'm Kris, and I am here to provide you with information to help you be the best possible judge you can, whether you are new to the role or you have judged in the past. In today's training session, we are going to cover the purpose of a judge at a speech contest. We'll review the differences between evaluating and judging, the different qualities of a good judge, and what can get in the way of judging, including barriers to objectivity and some common misconceptions. Before we get into any specifics, no matter the year, no matter the contest, you should always be using the most current contest rulebook provided by Toastmasters International and the most recent forms available. You can download the Speech Contest Rulebook, item 1171, from Toastmasters.org website. For the 2024-2025 Toastmasters year, be sure you are using the Speech Contest Rulebook effective July 1, 2024 through June 30th, 2025. As a speech contest judge, you should be familiar with the contents of the rulebook and be aware of changes that were made from the prior year. As a judge, you have certain obligations. Judges have an obligation to be fair and impartial to the contestants, the Toastmasters contest speech rulebook, and the audience, and to yourselves. If you feel that you cannot be fair and impartial, maybe a contestant is a spouse or a sibling, you should decline the opportunity to judge. Contestants are entitled to a truly professional performance by each judge. Contestants expect and deserve fairness and impartiality, and they should receive nothing less. Toastmasters International and the speech contest rules. Toastmasters has a reputation for speech training, excellence in meetings, and excellence in speech contests. Bad judging creates animosity and demeans the contest, the officials, and our leaders. The audience deserves a good speech contest. This includes fair and unbiased judging. Whenever judges fail to make the best choice, the audience is cheated. They're discouraged from attending or participating in other contests. As a Toastmaster, judges have made a personal commitment to self-improvement. This commitment includes being dedicated to making the correct decision when judging a contest. When in doubt, always remember the Toastmaster values: integrity, respect, service, excellence. Use these values to guide your decisions. As a speech contest judge, you listen to each contestant differently than when you are listening to them as a speaker in your club. When you listen to that speaker in a club setting, you are frequently an evaluator. As an evaluator, you appraise the speech. You measure the speaker's presentation against those speech purposes, and then you can advise the speaker on how to improve the speech. An evaluator is friendly and supportive. You know information about the speaker in advance. You look at how the speaker has met the purpose of the speech project, as well as any other areas of concern requested by the speaker. You encourage the speaker to improve in a couple of areas. You give a challenge for that speaker, and you provide written and oral feedback to the speaker. A contestant can receive Pathways credit for their contest speech, provided another Toastmaster provides written and oral evaluation on the contest speech. If you are a judge, though, you are not to evaluate a contestant. If a contestant asks you to provide an evaluation, you must decline. As a judge, it is your purpose to select a winner, the speaker who is given the best speech that day. You are not comparing the speaker to how you've seen or heard them in the past, or maybe you just felt that they were having an off day. You are judging them based on the speech given at this specific contest you are judging. As a judge, as best as possible, you should remain anonymous. You are going to know very little or nothing about a speaker in advance. You will not know their specific objectives. You will be observing and listening to multiple speakers, and you should use the guidelines outlined on the specific ballot for each contest. And you do not provide feedback directly to the contestants. Your sole function as a judge is to help choose the winner of the speech contest. Judges' decisions are confidential, and you are not to explain your decision. Let's talk about some of the qualities that define a good judge. Good judges must be fair. Good judges are totally impartial, and they do not allow friendships, affiliation, age, sex, race, creed, national origin, profession, or disapproval of speech topics to interfere in their decision. Good judges are accurate. You are committed to making the correct decision, and you complete the judging form correctly and completely. Good judges are trustworthy. You realize that all the contest participants have entrusted you with the responsibility of selecting that best speaker as the winner. You need to live up to this trust. Good judges need to be knowledgeable. You need to know the current contest rules. Review them. Don't have to memorize them, but be very familiar with the rules, and don't make any exceptions to the rules. Be familiar with the judging form. Know how to judge properly. And good judges must be good listeners. You listen carefully to each speaker and not become distracted. Don't talk with the other people around you, especially when a contestant is speaking. Don't go searching and digging in your purse for a pen, scrolling through your phone to answer a text. Don't think about the food that may or may not be served later on. Ignore those around you that are not paying attention to the rule that no one should be entering or leaving the room when a contestant is speaking. If you have difficulty hearing, choose a chair close to the stage rather than in the back of the room. This could also be beneficial in case of a technology issue with the microphone or speaker system. Being a good listener helps you fulfill your responsibility of being fair and impartial so you can choose a winner. Will you be a good judge? Remember, you need to be fair, accurate, trustworthy, knowledgeable, and a good listener. When judging, you have to break through various barriers to objectivity. And I want to review 7 main barriers that could be encountered. The first is speaker position. When people are presented with a list or a series, they will oftentimes recall the end of the list first because it's the most recent addition to their short-term memory. Similarly, people may remember the beginning of a list better than the middle because it serves as a reference point. As a judge, you need to compensate for this effect by paying close attention to every single contestant. Number 2 is the champion for the underdog. People tend to believe that the underdog puts forth more effort than an advantaged or a more powerful opponent and are thus more deserving of success. As a judge, use the criteria on the judge's guide and ballot to select the winners. Number 3 is the halo effect. This is an inclination to admire all of the person's actions, work, etc., because of another admirable quality. As a judge, you need to focus on how each contestant performs using that criteria on your judge's guide and ballot. For example, if a contestant happens to be a speech teacher, this does not automatically make their contest presentation the best. Likewise, a dynamic delivery style does not signify compelling content. Number 4 is the reverse halo effect, or maybe you have heard this as the horn effect. This is a tendency to disapprove of all of the person's actions, work, etc., because of one unrelated, unworthy quality or action. As a judge, you are cautioned to resist downgrading a score in one area because you are not happy with the contestant's performance in another area. Number 5 is the second time around. It is very common to see the same contestant compete at a different contest at a different level during the same contest cycle, or even compete year after year. As a judge, remember not to compare an individual's current performance or delivery to any previous presentations. You are judging that contestant on the criteria on their performance for this specific contest. Number 6 is not the norm. This is a false consensus, where you may believe that the majority of others share their own opinion regardless of what that opinion is. As an example, in some geographical areas, it is typical for a contestant to stand behind a lectern when speaking. Judges accustomed to this behavior may harshly judge that contestant who doesn't do it. This behavior is a custom, and it does not directly relate to the judging standards. And number 7, prejudices and personal preferences. Judging is a subjective process, and we try to make it objective. The individual opinions of each judge are based on his or her likes and dislikes, and there is no way around that. There is no way to control the tastes of the judges. It is almost impossible for anyone to be totally objective. So contests use a panel of judges so that it will restrict the effect of any single judge's bias. Barriers to objectivity. Speaker position, champion of the underdog, the halo effect, reverse halo effect, second time around, not the norm, prejudices and personal preferences. Be aware and break through these barriers. As stories about our contests continue to circulate, some of the myths that transform, they kind of turn into what we say are common knowledge rules. They're not part of any official rules, but people accept them as such because this is what our district has always done. Or maybe the rules in the contest rulebook have changed through the years, but a member, a judge, a contestant may not be familiar with the new contest rulebook. Unfortunately, these common knowledge rules can be those whisperers of misinformation, and I want to review some of these misconceptions. For example, many Toastmasters believe that the international speech contest entries must be serious or motivational or inspirational. But the contest rules state that contestants create their own substantially original speech. There is no reference to content or style, so humorous speech is definitely acceptable in an international speech contest. Similarly, the use of props or visuals is not restricted in any way beyond the bounds of safety and in good taste. The use of props, whether it is music or PowerPoint presentation, a physical item, These are allowed during speech contests in accordance with the speech contest rules. All props or the visuals must be set up and removed during the minute of silence before and after a contestant's speech, and it cannot delay the start of the speech. Prepared speech contestants cannot or must leave the room before or after they speak. They are free to go in and out of the contest room during that minute of silence, just like any other audience member. Table topic contestants and evaluation contestants, they must stay outside the main contest room until it's their turn, but once they've spoken, they are free to come and go as well. You cannot wear a generic Toastmasters pin in a contest. The rule book does not mention this. It is not required, but it is good practice to remove anything showing office or educational award level. You have to address the Toastmaster or contest chair during the speech or at the contest. This is not in the rule book, but it is a common custom, and some judges may mark down a contestant who does not follow this misconception. You cannot reuse a contest speech in another contest. You can use any speech or any variation of a speech at any level as long as it is your speech until the World Championship of Public Speaking final round, where the speech must be an entirely new speech, not given from the semifinals or from any of the semifinals or finals from the prior year. That's it. This video, we highlighted a few key points to help you prepare for a judge at an upcoming contest. We talked about the purpose of a judge in a speech contest, differences between judging and evaluating. We talked about the qualities that define a good judge and the barriers to objectivity and common misconceptions that can hinder effective judging. As you step into this role of a judge, remember your objectivity, your fairness play a crucial part in creating a positive and rewarding contest experience for all participants. I want to thank you for your dedication and best of luck as you contribute to the success of the speech contest, and I will see you there soon.